Okay, so this video is a 12 minute clip from a coaching call that I did inside of our paid program where we help people grow and scale their online digital info businesses and their digital products, online courses, etc. Right, so it's a 10-minute clip where we super deep dive into this one guy's situation. He needed help with sales calls. He needed help converting more members to his paid program. So it's just a super deep dive on what he's doing, how he can book more calls, and how he can close more of those calls. Now, I don't normally do this, but if you also have an online course or an online digital product or something like a community or whatever that you want to scale and you want to make more sales to, there's a link below. It's a sales call, right? So be warned, it's a sales call, like woo. So if you do want more help, there's no obligation to buy our stuff, but you can have a chat with me and we can see if we can help you scale your online digital info business or online course, right? So there's a link below. Feel free to go book if you want more help. But if not, enjoy the video anyway and let me know what you think in the comments.
Like, what are you working on at the moment?
So I'm trying to get conversions up, and I'm having the hardest time because we've been doing like soft sales,
Yeah.
and soft sales just hasn't been working. So a little bit of background. So we do basically like we help people get jobs, and it's so hard to for these people that that don't do it all the time to kind of get into the field, and we give them all the resources. We have coaching calls. And with soft sales, the price is about $49 right now.
Mhm.
And I do have somebody in sales because we are going to up the price at one point. So we're trying to gain experience and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just not working with soft sales. So what's your take on it doing hard sales?
Walk me through exactly what you mean by, because I mean, some people are different, right? But like soft sales, like how are the calls going? What's the kind of structure?
So we basically put in, so I have a Alex Ramosi, like, GPT, where we kind of like, I would do like hard sales, like, so are you going to sign up today, or you want a follow-up call and all this kind of other stuff, because um, if there's like, we feel like if there's no urgency for these people to join, then they're like, I'll just wait another week.
100%. Yeah. I just made a video, but I'm just about to release a video about this, but yeah. That's interesting. So right now it's like soft sales. They're coming on the call. What's the reason they're jumping on the call?
What do you mean?
Like, what are you promising on the call? So is it like an onboarding call, or is it literally
Yeah.
like do they know it's a sales call to see if they're a good fit?
No, no. So we haven't labeled them sales call because the no-show rate
Yeah,
has been about
that's fine.
40 to 50%. So what we're doing now is we're gonna like give them a gift when they do join the call.
Yeah.
Um, that's gonna help. But these people that do join the call, the other 50%, we're not really closing them. And these people that are joining are not joining because of the sales call, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot we can get into here. Also, hey Justino, how's it going? It's nice to see you. New York. I just came from New York actually. Flew into LA a couple of days ago. Nice. As you saw, because I had to reschedule my call. But anyway, just talking about sales calls here. So there's a lot, right? So we'll get into first the onboarding call side of things. So what are you calling these onboarding calls?
Discovery calls. That's what we call them.
Yeah, we'll change. I think you should change the name for that for sure. What's the niche again? It's helping people get jobs.
Jobs, yeah.
Is there something? Do you do like CV reviews, maybe?
Resume reviews? Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I would do. I would do a 30-minute call with some work that they do pre-call to kind of get their resume done. They have a resume ready for the call, and then they jump on the call and you review their resume
Okay.
for like
Yeah,
15
sure.
minutes. So that's a promised value, and that's going to increase your show up rate by like double, genuinely. Because right now, strategy call, bro, I would join that because I know it's a sales call. It just, or discovery call, or whatever it is you call it. Like, trust me, that it just doesn't work. So calling the onboarding call something niche relevant. Ours obviously were called onboarding calls because it kind of made sense. We're onboarding you onto school. Like, that kind of made sense. But if you start calling them like your resume review calls, 30 minutes free, we'll go in and we'll give you some actionable items on your resume so you can go away and start taking action straight away. Way more people will book and way more people will show up. And then the question becomes, how do you transition that into a sale? But I'll get into that in a second. But does that all make sense so far?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice.
So, okay.
Yeah, I would do that. And then, right, I'll get into the next part now. So this is, okay, I'm doing the resume review. How do I turn this into a sales call? Well, before you do the resume review, you kind of want to do discovery. And again, I can shoot you some videos I've done on this. I want to kind of be like, hey, why are you here? What are your goals? Why did you join the community? why is now the right time for you to do something like this? What have you tried in the past? Why didn't that work? And just kind of figure out where they're at and why they're on the call with you or why they're in the group in the first place. Because then you can use that information later and like so you do the discovery, you give the promised value, so you do your 15-minute resume review, and then at the end you're like, I'll be completely honest with you, dude. Like, from what I can see, you're like, obviously super serious about this. You told me that you want to do X, Y, and Z. I actually have a pretty low ticket membership for people like that. Are you cool if I just share my screen? I can show you what it's like. And that has worked. We got 70% close rates on those. So we would get on, we would give people a custom roadmap on how to start their school, and then we would show them that we are the solution to help them implement that roadmap in the low ticket paid group, and like 70% of calls solved.
Huh.
Does that all make sense? I know I flew through that, but like
No, that does make sense. Yeah, so you basically get them. Yeah, so you really think that people think like, oh my gosh, you're gonna get sold because you call it in the discovery, like an,
oh,
an
100%. Yeah, I would. As soon as I see discovery call, I'm like, bro, I can't bother. Like it's just gonna be a sales script. But if you give if it's like a value call, right? I always talk about the value call versus the sales call. The sales call is fine as long as you structure it like that. As people know it's a sales call going into it because you get way high quality leads, etc. But if you're going to do a value call, you may as well just double down on it being a value call and just get really good at transitioning the value part into the sale. And it takes time, but like I did it after like 100 calls. I was pretty good at it. Just transitioning value into, hey, these are the next steps if you want our help. And then just to go tactical on that a little bit more, you mentioned it at the start of this, scarcity and urgency. I just released a video about this as well. Giving
Where's
them
the
a
video?
reason to. I
Where's
can
the
shoot
video?
you. It's right here. It's an objection video, and then at the end I talk about closing people with. I think I just posted it in here actually. Did I post it in the paper? Yeah, this one. So for anyone needing to struggle with, I need to think about it on sales calls, then
Okay, let
this
me
for you.
check that one out. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many posts. You get
I
lost.
know, I know, I
There's
know,
like
I
so
know.
many posts. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, but what I talk about in that is literally at the end saying, hey, look, we're doing this thing right now where if you joined with me, you would get this bonus. And I know it's a bit salesy. You can be a bit honest about it. I know it's a bit salesy to do this on the call bonus thing, but the reason we do that is I have like 10 to 15 calls a day. So if I had to follow up with everyone that needed a little bit more time, I'd lose my mind a little bit. Like you can kind of like have a little bit of an explanation as to why you do this on the call bonus. And then you can pair that together with a guarantee. So it's like, hey, Rico, we do this thing right now where if you were to try it out and jump in, you would get this bonus, you would get this one-on-one call, you would get this course, whatever you want to do, right? And if for whatever reason you jump in, 2 weeks pass and you still don't like it, you just get a full refund, get your money back. So doing stuff like that increases close rate by a ridiculous amount as well. Like that was the number one needle mover for me. Just having like a scarcity urgency reason and then giving them a guarantee if they don't like it. And it's like, oh well, it seems stupid not to get the bonus, and then if I don't like it, I get my money back, right? So it was a good system.
So you just basically then say, hey, I just don't, if you don't like it, I'll still refund you. And you're like,
We do that because we know our thing's really like. I think I'm assuming your thing's really good as well. But we don't have a high refund rate. Like we never had a high refund rate. Like
yeah.
people joined it and they loved it. So we didn't care. We were just like, yeah, if you don't like it, get your money back. But we still do that actually. But yeah,
Sweet. So
but I
you
would recommend doing that. Yeah, maybe 7 days if you want. 14 days. So pairing the scarcity and urgency again, I go super into it in the video, but scarcity and urgency with the guarantee that will increase close rate. And then in terms of structure, position it as a value call, resume review. I like that a lot. Do some discovery, ask some questions of why they're there. Give them the promised value for 15 minutes to review their resume, and then at the end of the call, show them that you're the next step that helps them implement the steps you just showed them in the resume review.
Okay, so basically do like 15 minutes of the resume review type deal and then just
Yeah.
and then slowly transition into, hey, I see your resume, and then move it from there.
Yeah, well, it's more like, yeah, well, you told me that you're, looking to either get this or you're looking to move careers. Like, and I'll be honest, like we help a lot of people like that. It's just we help them in our membership, right? And that's where they get access to me directly and help access to my team. Like, are you cool if I just pull up my screen really quick? I can show you what it's like,
100%,
and it's
100%.
super
Let me
quick,
see it.
super simple. Yeah.
Let me see it. Yeah, 100%.
Oh no, that's me pretending to do the.
Oh,
So that was
you
me
didn't
pretending
would
to do the
work for
sale.
me.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. But yeah, so you just kind of just say something smooth like that, and it's very easy to transition.
Gosh, that's good. Yeah, I gotta I gotta look at that. Yeah, do the resume, do like 30 minutes because I was worried that these people aren't gonna, like being on camera, especially in my niche, it's like, oh my gosh, then they get frightened, then they get, like, and like I don't want to be on camera, right? If you send a Zoom link, and so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I should call them on the phone or do something else. But now if I do like, hey, let's do a resume review, then
I think that helps. It's like you can test it. Maybe people won't give a shit. Like there's a world where they don't, right? And then you have to do something else that's valuable. But I think a resume review is a good place to start, and see if people want that in your free group. And if they do, then happy days. And you can see if you can convert some people over to the paid. So it's just logical, right? You show them, you give them the value, and then it's like, well, if you want more help with this, we do this like every day in our paid group, like, or like we do like a weekly call in our paid group. You get way more access. Like it's $50. It's a no brainer. Yeah.
shit, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, I gotta implement that. So move away from what I did. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them discovery calls. Really
Okay.
bad now.
Like onboarding calls, like nah, nothing.
You could do onboarding, but I just think like something niche relevant is so good. So like I had an example of a guy on one of these calls a few months back. He had like an Instagram thing, help people with Instagram. And he used to call them onboarding calls, and he'd get like three, four, five bookings a day. And then he just changed the name to Instagram profile audit. So he would jump on the call and give them a profile audit, and then it doubled almost because people
Sweet.
cared about that. It's not just like what does onboarding even mean? Like I don't take onboarding calls for when we buy software, like, or anything we buy for the business. I can't, like, onboarding calls are just, they don't feel attractive. But in our case they did, because obviously people want to get onboarded to school. So, but for most niches, I don't know. Just call it something niche relevant. See how it goes.
Sweet. Yeah, I gotta do that. Yeah. No,
Cool.
100%. I appreciate it.